We're going to move on to Senator Hertzberg. If you're ready to present.
I am.
Beginning with SB 1222.
I'm here to defend the PUC that I just zetzed. And we're grateful for it. It's okay. Thank you. This is from the outdated PUC. We're trying to make it at least a little bit more updated. The PUC issues dozens and dozens of reports each year, from rail safety to energy to telecom issues. If you look at the analysis, which did a great job, basically it sets forth a number of these things. And what we're trying to do in this measure is to harmonize the dates and times and to eliminate things out of the Commission's obligations and statutes that are no longer necessary. Although I did speak with a couple of the members of this committee, Senator Pavley and Senator Walk, with respect to this zero-based budgeting issue, something that we've supported over the years, the emeritus chair of the committee, which I now chair. This whole idea of zero-based budgeting for all programs, it was eliminated here because it deals with programs dated to January 10th, 2015. It's an effort to clean up the code, but certainly I support the notion of zero-based budgeting as a concept, and happy to turn it over to PUC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Nick Zanjani with the PUC once more. So SB 1222 builds off of the efforts from last year in Senator Hertzberg SB 697. Last year, what we were working on is just consolidating all of the, I think it's 48 separate PUC reports that were scattered across the PU code so that it could be in one article of code. We didn't make any substantive changes to any of those reports last year. This year, we're tweaking a few, deleting a few that are no longer necessary, some of which the work is being done by other agencies, changing some dates. For the most part, it's entirely technical and cleanup, but it's very important to us. For us, this is a basic accountability measure. We view the legislature as a partner, and if we're going to work collaboratively, it's very important that we fulfill our obligations to get you all the information that you need and that you've asked for. So it helps us to focus our efforts and work collaboratively with you on that. So we'd very much appreciate your support, and thank you very much.
Very well, thank you. Do we have anyone else speaking in support? Anyone speaking in opposition? Do we have any questions or comments
Yes,
from?
Question.
Yes, Senator Wolk.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator, referring to that, Senator Hertzberg, for referring to that one particular area. Let me see if I understand this. The bill would repeal a requirement that PUC conduct a zero-based budget for all of its programs by January 10th, 2015. So that means it does it each year?
If I may, Senator, so what happened was, I believe it was 2 years ago in budgetary bill language, there was a requirement imposed on the PUC in response to an audit by OSE that mandated that the PUC do an exercise with a zero-based budget for last year's budget. It was a one-time requirement. It was not a recurring requirement. And so what we did is we worked collaboratively with the legislative subcommittees and budget. We worked collaboratively with DOF and LAO, and we did an exercise where we accounted for every single minute of time spent, every dollar spent in terms of personnel years at the PUC. We delivered that transparency budget, and then last year in the budget process, as you probably well recall, they zeroed out our budget, and we kind of re-upped from a clean slate last year. So it was a one-time effort.
It was a one-time effort. All right, so this is a cleanup of the code, basically.
It is.
Right, it's cleanup of the code. And also, based upon our discussion, I looked at the analysis indicates that apparently they contacted the Senate Budget Committee, and the quote from on page 6 of the analysis says that there does not seem to be much appetite from the Senate Budget Committee to require another zero-based budget from the CPUC. So they got to do the due diligence on that too, although I certainly support that concept. We've spent a lot of years working on that. Thank you. Very well. A lot of PUC amendments bills, including one from the Assembly to eliminate the PUC. So,
I'm supporting that one, I think.
so by supporting that one, are you opposing your own bill?
I might down the line. It's quite possible.
Okay. Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Clerk, please call the roll.
With the amendments, I'm sorry. And just to clarify, you did
Accept
accept
the
the
amendments,
amendments, yeah. So we have a motion with amendments, do pass with amendments. Clerk, please call the roll.
Do pass is amended to appropriations. Wesso?
Aye.
Wesso, aye. Morel?
Aye.
Morel, aye. Canella?
Aye.
Canella, aye. Gaines?
Aye.
Gaines, aye. Hertzberg?
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Laura? Leva? Leva, aye. McGuire? Pavley? Pavley, aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
That bill, that will hold the roll open for absent members. Senator, SB 1298.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Way back in the Wayback Machine, we issued 20-year bonds to cover certain costs associated with energy deregulation. Those, yeah, I know, ew. And those were very expensive. Some of the interest rates on those bonds are at 9%. Basically, this bill extends the authority and gives the authority for refinance because we can buy money at almost no interest at all and dramatically reduces costs and saves taxpayers a lot of money. Ask for your aye vote.
Very well.
Nick Zanjani with the PUC once again. Just like you can refinance a mortgage, it's somewhat similar with the bonds. We actually do it quite frequently, and because we've done it so frequently, we've been able to save ratepayers millions of dollars. And so this literally just allows us to maintain that tool so that when the opportunity presents itself to save ratepayers money, we have the ability to do so moving forward. So we'd ask for your aye vote.
Very well. Any opposition? Anyone in support, opposition, public? Senator Hill?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question related to, and you indicated, Mr. Sanjani, that you have done this previously, because that was my question. Interest rates have been low for quite some time now, so you've taken advantage of this in the past. So why, do you need just repeated legislation, or does it sunset? Why is it? Oh, it does sunset.
20 years.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
That's it.
Senator Gaines?
I'm just curious if the PUC has an estimate in terms of what the savings would be as a result of refinancing, or is that still to be analyzed?
We actually don't have an exact number, Senator. I apologize. But in the past, because rates have more recently decreased, it's been advantageous to ratepayers to refinance. It's not entirely certain whether we'll have the same opportunities moving forward as we have had in recent years. Okay. But we do want to maintain that ability and have the discretion to move in that direction if it's a possibility.
That's great. Thank you.
Very well. Very good. Do we have a motion on the bill? We have a motion. Clerk,
I just
please.
had one final comment, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to say that it's somewhat a gratuitous comment, but the Assembly and Senate committees held a hearing on a measure that's coming before the ballot, and if any refinance like this happens over $2 billion, it will require a vote of the people. So to the extent that we're going to save money on the benefits, it's a smart thing to do it now. If that passes.
Very well. Clerk, please call the roll.
Do pass to appropriations. Wesso?
Aye.
Wesso, aye. Morel?
Aye.
Morel, aye. Canella?
Aye.
Canella, aye. Gaines?
Aye.
Gaines, aye. Hertzberg?
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Hill? Hill, aye. Laura? Leva? Leva, aye. McGuire? Pavley? Pavley, aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Senator, 1299.
The renewable portfolio standard that now dominates our discussion with respect to the issue of renewables was adopted in California in 2002, as some of us will recall. Prior to that time, the issue of renewables was regulated at a federal level under the Public Utilities Regulatory Policies Act, known as PURPA, that was adopted when Jimmy Carter was president. Those projects, wind, biomass, geothermal, a lot of those projects that were created are still standing. But what we're trying to do here in this measure is to harmonize the law. These folks that are operating under PURPA basically are getting reimbursed at brown power rates, but creating green power. And we're trying at some level to rectify that by using these RECs and giving a little bit more money to these folks so that they're able to continue to operate. You know, we as a public policy are out here saying we want a 50% renewable portfolio standard, but we're stuck in the mud so often on the details of laws that we've written in the past and how to harmonize those to make sure that we maximize the green power in the best possible way. I just want to, the only other point I wanted to share with you is that in 2010, these entities that small entities are called QFs, qualified facilities under the federal law, under the Carter Act, PURPA, And there was a settlement between them and the combined heat and power people, and there's some argument that somehow that applies to these other folks here in the wind world and the like, and it doesn't. These people were never parties to it. And I'm certainly turn it over to the witnesses and to answer further questions.
Very well.
Thank you, Senator Hertzberg and Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Nancy Rader, Executive Director of the California Wind Energy Association, known as CalWIA. SB 1299 is based on a simple premise that in California, renewable energy is more valuable than energy from fossil fuels. As the senator said, this bill makes a modest change to the PURPA contracts that the utilities are already required to make available. These contracts pay nothing for the RPS compliance value that small wind and other small renewable energy facilities provide. SB 1299 simply says if the utility wants the RPS compliance value, they got to pay for it. The utilities don't have to buy it, but they may negotiate a price for it if they wish. California's wind facilities from the 1980s are aging, and maintenance repair costs are significant. To keep operating, they need more than the Brown Power price. And we'll need these wind projects to help California meet the 50% RPS target for 2030. To just anticipate the opposing arguments, I'll just say a couple of things. This bill does not disturb a settlement agreement that was made in 2010. That agreement was made between utilities and fossil fuel co-generators and not renewable energy generators. The bill does not require the utilities to pay twice for renewable energy. That's the point. They haven't paid for the renewable energy. They've only paid for the brown energy. And thirdly, the bill does not require the utilities to buy the RPS compliance value associated with the PURPA contract. It just says they don't get it automatically for free. Thanks. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but Brad Adams is here to speak from the perspective of an owner of one of these facilities.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Brad Adams, Vice President of San Gorgonio Farms, which my father and I own. We operate a wind farm maintenance company and 3 wind power plants totaling 43 megawatts in the San Gorgonio Pass in Riverside County. We employ 20 hardworking individuals with a payroll of a little over $1.1 million annually. In addition, we spent $2.25 million for parts and services in 2015 alone, mostly to local Southern California businesses. Property taxes amount to between $150 and $200 grand a year paid to the County of Riverside. My father, he's a pioneer in the industry. He's worked hard and built some of the first wind turbines ever installed in the early 80s, all the way up to the largest on the market today. We have continued to invest, upgrade, rehabilitate, modernize, and maintain our turbines all this time. We used to have over 260 turbines, but have removed 136 of the smaller ones, repowering in small phases with larger turbines over the years to stay current. Good maintenance practices can keep these assets generating clean renewable power for decades. However, as they age, maintenance expenses do increase. Lately, we have been operating under the only contract that is available to us, a PURPA contract that pays short-term electricity prices with no credit given for the renewable nature of the power, even though the utility is able to count that power towards its RPS requirement. Last year, payments, including capacity payments, averaged just 3.7 cents per kilowatt. That is nearly a 50% drop over our prior year's long-term expired PURPA contract. And for the last 6 months in a row, we have received well under 3 cents for our energy and capacity. We simply cannot make the repairs that are needed at that price, and we are currently in a death spiral. Because the utilities have largely met their RPS obligations for 2020, for the next several years, the market looks bleak. Small shops like ours are hurting. We get Brown Power pricing for our green renewable power, and that is simply unfair. We are not asking for special treatment. We are treading water, waiting for better days. This bill simply requires a fair price for our product. If the bill passes, it is our hope that we will get a fair negotiated price for the RPS value of our power. And we will be able to keep our doors open so that we can continue to be a part of California's clean energy future.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for your consideration.
Mr. Chair and members, Erin Niemela representing the Large Scale Solar Association, also in support of this bill. These were our original renewable facilities in California, our QF facilities, long before the state's RPS law. And even though these are not large scale solar facilities, we're here to support our colleagues in the renewable industry because we think that infrastructure needs to remain intact. It's difficult to build here in California, and we shouldn't let go of what we already have. Thank you.
Now for the opposition.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Valerie Terrell of Law, host with PG&E. And I think for this bill, we're going to have to respectfully agree to disagree, I guess. Yes, there was a settlement agreement, and the California Wind Energy Association was not a settling party. The independent energy producers were, but this is the PUC. It is, an open process where proceedings are posted, and when decisions are a proposed decision, you have time to respond, et cetera, et cetera. So we believe that this settlement does apply here. We specifically negotiated a price for QFs, keeping in mind the green attribute would be conveyed to our customers. There's also other provisions of the contract that, make this a nice contract, like the IOU has a must-take for 20 megawatts and less. So we do have to buy these contracts for our customers of a certain size. So I guess the point is we have to agree to disagree. We can keep talking to the author. We've engaged in a robust discussion. We do not feel that it is fair for our customers to have to now pay for a REC when the customers were already being conveyed that value since the inception of the RPS program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Israel Salas, San Diego Gas and Electric. I won't repeat all of the details by my colleague over at PG&E, but we also have to agree to disagree with the senator. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, but in this case, we believe that this bill is undermining a settlement that we entered into with these facilities in 2011, and part of that settlement was that we receive green power. We can count that green power towards our RPS compliance. Now this bill is saying that we have to negotiate a new price for that power. We don't think that's fair. And we respectfully ask for your no vote today.
Cindy Howe with Southern California Edison. Agree with the comments of my colleagues from PG&E and San Diego Gas Electric and respectfully oppose the bill. We would like to note that while we agree we'd like to find a solution for these small renewable developers, we don't think that the IOU ratepayers are the only solution. And there are other load-serving entities in the state. There are other options, alternatives to selling the power to those other entities and other programs, rather than simply requiring our utilities to pay more for what they're already receiving. So respectfully opposed. We'll continue working with the author. Thank you.
Matt Kloppenstein on behalf of PacifiCorp, a investor-owned utility with about 45,000 customers up in the northern part of the state. We also align our comments in opposition with the other investor-owned utilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to applaud you for taking on this issue. It's a very difficult issue. And on the one hand, yes, it's controversial to continue to support a business plan that's really right now not penciling out, but given the fact that the state is and the ratepayers have already invested probably hundreds of millions of dollars into these facilities, I mean, it speaks to energy reliability in our state. Do you have any figures in terms of what this could be impact to ratepayers in the future? I mean, have you looked at that? And we're looking at a temporary situation. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm sorry? We don't know. We don't know yet. I mean, I'd certainly do some homework on it. I don't really know what those numbers are. Mr. Chairman, what I've been trying to do, and I appreciate the sentiment with this regard, is, I got stuck in the energy world back in the day and have been focused on this and spent 12 years out of government working in this space, and I came back. If you look there's a pattern to the kinds of things I brought before your committee. I'm trying to fill the holes. I'm trying to, on the one hand, we have these large goals, 50%, but how do we get there? And so we have these inconsistencies in the law that some of are ticklish. Look, if it was an agreement, first of all, these parties, of which we weren't a party to, these guys, they don't have the power to control this legislature. If the PUC, just as you've expressed in many hearings before, Mr. Chairman, has adopted a decision, the legislature sees that we're just course correcting. At one point, and we've seen this before, there was overpriced and there had to be a change.
Now there's an underprice, and there's a new law, SB 350, that changes the rules. So I'm trying to dig into the details here in direct access, example after example, to try to figure out how to make that work. And so that's kind of the effort here and what we're trying to do. This is just one small piece in a much larger framework that you'll see me continue to fight. So I appreciate that very much and ask for your support of this measure.
Thank you. As I move forward, I think that information will come to light. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Thank you, sir.
I think it's important to know that. Do we have a motion from the committee? Any comments or motion? We have a motion. Senator Pevley moves the bill. Clerk, please call the roll.
Do pass to appropriations, Wesso?
Aye.
Wesso, I. Morel? Canella? No. Canella, no. Gaines? Hertzberg?
Aye.
Hertzberg, I. Hill? Hill, I. Lara? Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? McGuire, I. Pavley? Pavley, I. Wolk? Wolk, I. 7-1.
We have that bill is 7-1. It's out. We'll hold the roll open for absent members. Okay. We have an author here on deck, Senator Levine, on